you like water?
Candy, mira.
So then, yeah, it just happens super quick because I
Agua.
wasn't expecting.
Yeah, no,
Sí,
you're
claro.
doing really well with that already.
She's good.
No hay whisky.
She's good.
Ah, no, lo meten en el
But,
dedo del whisky.
they don't let her into the
No quiero ver allá.
double. You can't come in.
Óyeme, no tienes foto de Jonathan porque yo no
Pero,
veo.
de Jonathan, sí.
All the
Suffice it to say that if there was a commission
Porque yo hablé
meeting
con él, pero
with whiskey, this would be it.
because you can't come in now.
Anybody else?
And then she can come in.
No, no, I'm good
no,
for now.
Wiki no.
We'll do the ceremony in Italy because that's where we're going to do the ceremony.
Right.
But,
Like a destination wedding?
yeah, well, she's from here.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Not you. I know.
No.
But for you and your family, it would be like
Yeah. For us,
Okay,
it'll be-
I've
all my friends are
included-
looking forward to it.
awesome.
I've included your roles there. You're gonna have 2 copies. We're gonna execute both and you'll keep one for
Este
your
es de
records
Yolanda.
and I'll keep one for my record.
Hello, Commissioner.
Pero bueno, mi hijo también.
Taller, like,
I do. I got a bunch of them.
Pero es bonito.
Sí, es parecido. Él es italiano, tiene italiano de Irish.
I don't have a man.
Y la mamá cubana, que no diga.
Ivan,
Yes,
knock
ma'am.
on the door, please. I don't have my phone to yell at him. Oh, there we go. Okay, he's good. No, he's good.
No,
City
he's
attorney
okay.
was down
Yeah,
here.
and I know he's on the air.
My name is City
You know what?
Ven acá, tú quitaste
Attorney.
algo de
Yeah,
la-
funny man,
Right
really.
here, Johnny, I think
Uh,
Oye, tú quitaste algo de la-
Three.
no, de Johnny no, de niña, del mayor porque necesitaba para cuando administró
Right, like, went to
para
Washington,
poder
DC,
I had my interview with Cuba King.
Do I need something for the
Asking about it.
How are you?
Ella-
They were asking me stuff that I hadn't
We
done.
loved it, man. We loved it. But that was actually 2019 before COVID. So now it's
Can't delay
obviously.
this because then we'll.
Tried going back again, but
Commissioner will be delayed.
let's see.
They were asking me
If the salaries were up to what the
Yeah.
US is.
algorithm.
Madam Manager.
I hadn't thought about it in 3 years.
You go live there, talk to them. I think I talked to you about your house. The one that you got, so you won't need it.
And like, you know,
Probably take a shot.
they say, well, look what.
15, me and Uncle Liv.
Oh, there you go.
Some
That's what we're trying to do.
anti-arrhythmic
My brother.
Ya, ahora sí.
But not amiodarone. Amiodarone. And I went, you know, it's the first one all of us say. And I went, mag sulfate, lido. Maybe some more.
They made you do a mega coat?
No, no.
¿Cuál? ¿Quién?
No, it's the other one, verapamil, verapamil.
Oh, so they did the same.
sir.
like a
Okay, just
same-
ask me now.
Yeah, I threw verapamil at him and I said, I don't know where I got propofol from.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the interest of time, I respect your time. We're gonna go ahead and get started. And I don't have a gavel, but I will officially call this meeting to order. Today is Wednesday, September the 8th. It is 6:08 p.m. This is the City of West Miami Charter Review Board organizational meeting. And you all have a copy of the agenda in your packet. I'm going to start kind of informal before we go into the Pledge of Allegiance, and if we don't mind, if we can all just introduce ourselves informally, and then we'll jump to the formal part of the meeting. So I'll start to my right. Well, I'm Rhonda Rodriguez, the mayor. Thank you all for being here. And Eddie, if you can introduce yourself.
Eddie Muña, resident for, what, 30-something
A
years?
long time.
Mr. Mayor.
How you doing, sir?
Mr. Mayor.
Former.
Commissioner?
Luciano Suarez, resident for 30 years, I think.
I don't
25.
remember.
I'm my next door neighbor.
Ivan?
Ivan Chavez, been around here since '94, raised a family here, all the kids went to school here.
Commissioner Blanes, I've been living here for 36 years, but I moved in when I was 10. And same as Ivan, I raised a family here, and I love this place. And it's worth fighting for.
Christian Diaz, born here, so been in the city for 25 years.
So going around, Eric Diaz Padron, vice mayor here, was born in the city, returned to the city, and now I'm here.
Ivan Chavez Jr., been here my whole life as well. He's my father. Excited to be here. Excited to be a part of the team now.
Martin Torres, I've been here since, I guess, like 13 years. That's about it. And I like it here, and Juan drafted me to be on the board today.
Great,
Here I am.
great. Natalie?
Hello, Natalie Vivian. I've officially been a resident for almost 5 years now. I'm going to go school here, but I love West Miami. I've worked here for many years also, and I'm happy to be here and work with you all. Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Lenny Caravia. Been a resident of West Miami since 1977, so I'm the veteran. I love the city. My daughter lives here as well. She purchased a home, my sister-in-law. So we love the city. Anything that I can help the city with, I'm always happy. And it's a pleasure being here.
Thank you, Manny. Commissioner?
I'm Candy Blanca, and the city of West Miami. I'm the commissioner of West Miami. I've been living here for the last 50 years.
She beat you, Lenny. She beat you. Good. Yoli?
Solo Jolie.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Yolanda Aguilar. I've been living in the city of West Miami since 1971. A few months after Commissioner Candida Blanca moved in, my mom and my dad were her neighbors.
A week later.
A week later is right. So I've been here 50 years, love my city with a passion. I raised my kids here, and I call this my home.
Mr. Attorney?
What's the role of the city attorney for the city of West Miami for the past 20 years?
City clerk?
Hi, I'm the city clerk. I'm Mary Gonzalez. I've been with the city for 25 years, so I started working when I was like 10.
55.
Yeah. And I've been clerk for 10, 11 years already.
As I said, Rhonda Rodriguez, I'm the mayor. I'm trying to fill the giant shoes that Mayor Mujina left for me. So hopefully I'm living up to that. I lived here for 35 years. I raised my children here, and like many of you, of the young ones, younger ones, you were raised here and you came back and bought and you're raising your family here. So it's like my daughter as well. So I think that speaks volumes about our city, that you were so happy and grateful and were brought up here, and you want your family to be brought up here as well. So that's why we do what we do. I'm sure that's why you're here tonight. That's why the commissioners and vice mayor, that's why we do what we do, because we all love West Miami, and it is a tremendous place to live. So we can only try to, if we can make it better, that's what we do. That's why we do what we do. So thank you all for being here. I know it's a sacrifice to be away, from your family, dinner time. This should not, the clerk will explain, this shall only be for a few months, hopefully. And our charter is a very important document of the city. And what our goal is going to be to review the charter and see if we can make it better, make changes, all for the greater good of West Miami. There will be no, how should I say, don't hesitate to ask any questions, because I started where you were many years ago in a charter review, and I didn't understand half the stuff the city attorney was talking about. Okay, so I had to learn over time. So please ask questions. When he gets into the legalities, you're going to say what? Just stop him and say, Mr. Attorney, help me understand. Please proffer all suggestions, comments. That's what we're here for. This is a working group, and we're going to work together to hopefully, clear up our charter and bring it up to date. Bring our charter up to date is basically what we have to do here tonight. Not tonight, but this is what we'll start doing. So with that, now we'll get into the formal part of the meeting. Pledge of Allegiance. Ivan Senior, if you could lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, sir.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Madam Clerk, next item.
Item 2, roll call. Mayor Roger Rodriguez.
Present.
Vice Mayor Eric Diaz-Padrón. Commissioner Candida Blanca.
Yes.
Commissioner Juan Blanes.
Present.
Commissioner Luciano Suarez.
Yes.
We go to the members, Lenny Caravia. Present. Ivan Chavez Senior.
Present.
Ivan Chavez Junior.
Present.
Christian Diaz, alternate member.
Present.
Natalie Milian, member.
Present.
Eduardo Munian, member.
Present.
Martin Flores, alternate member.
Present.
And Yolanda Aguilar, city manager. Present. Jose Villalobos, city attorney. And Eddie Gonzalez, city clerk, present.
Perfect, thank you. And now, Madam Clerk, we will administer the oaths.
Yes, item 3 says swearing in of the members and alternate members. I would ask you to please stand to take your, so I can administer the oath. We have included 2 copies of the oath, so once you take your oath, you'll execute it, and I'll take all the copies and I'll return one to you. So please repeat with me, and we're gonna do a roll call of the names as we go. So let's start. This is the oath of office for the Charter Review Board, and I
Eduardo Muña. Ivan Chavez. I, Christian Diaz.
I, Ivan Chavez.
I, Martin Torres.
I, Natalie Milian.
Lenny Caravia. Okay, repeat with me. Solemnly swear
Solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
and will obey the laws of the United States of America
and will obey the laws of the United States of America
and of the state of Florida,
and the state of Florida,
that I will, in all respects,
that I will, in all respects,
observe the provisions of the Charter
observe the provisions of the Charter
and the ordinances
and the ordinances
of the city of West Miami,
of the city of West Miami,
and will faithfully discharge
and will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of Charter Review Board member of the city of West Miami.
of Charter Review Board member of the city of West Miami.
Congratulations, you'll be sworn into office. Please sign your oath and return them to me. Thank you.
You want them both signed?
two copies?
Yes, both copies, please. Thank you.
Congratulations to all.
Congratulations.
Thank you for serving.
Yes.
Ay, perdón.
Hopefully you will have fun in doing this. I did back then, so we'll try to make it as fun and as productive as possible.
Thank you. I'll just sign your copy.
Are these city pens? What's going on?
Yes, they are.
It has a.
Trick pens, huh? So it's about a ball game. So that.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Next slide. Do you call this or do I call the agenda? The clerk does, right? See? The clerk does.
Yes, I am for
Okay, yeah.
citizen presentations. You may proceed if you want.
Okay, we have no here for citizen presentation, so next item, please.
Item 5 is new business, and you have the opening remarks by the city manager.
Actually, I kind of already gave my remarks. I didn't realize there was a formal place for this, so I kind of gave them. So, as I was saying, just thank you all for being here. I know it does take time away from your family, from your evenings at home, but we all, and I know I speak for the rest of my commission and the administration, we so appreciate this. This is something the city has to do by charter every 4 years. So we really, truly, greatly appreciate your sacrifices being here with us. And I know that we'll make good use of your time. And like I said, hopefully at the end of this, we will have a good document to work with and hopefully put some changes on the ballot if you see fit. And again, it's all for the greater good of this wonderful city that we all live in and love so much. So with that said, to my fellow commissioners, we have The board members have alternates and we don't, so let's try our best to be here for every meeting, barring any emergencies. That way we can have some valuable input into this board. So with that said, next item is the report of the city attorney, and I will turn it over to Mr. Villalobos for his report.
Well, good evening, everybody. I would have to say that the mayor has taken the lead on the test.
Sorry.
I just wanted to tell you about the police stand.
Yes, or just bring your chair here, baby.
Thank you, Beth.
I know it's hard to hear behind the mask, so I apologize, but
I miss everybody's smile.
yeah.
You can see mine.
I'd like to call your attention to specifically section 7.06 of the charter, where it describes the Charter Review Board. And I'll go into detail what that means so you want to fully understand. And if you have any questions, please so advise, okay?
What page is that, Mr. Chairman?
7.06 is page 18 of 21. Page 18.
My math fogged my glasses, so I have to take that a little bit. As the mayor stated, every 4 years, the city has to go through this exercise. Not necessarily the city or the commission or the Charter Review Board has to do anything about the charter, but it's good for you to actualize what is it that we have within our system, because in 4 years there's a lot of things that can happen. You're supposed to examine the charter, discuss it among yourselves. I cannot direct you to what to say. It's for you to tell me what to put in writing so I can turn it over to the clerk. After everything is said and done, after you have reviewed the charter, you will tell me what is it that you want to change. The clerk and I will conduct meetings, because there's certain limitations as to the wording that you can put in the ballot. You cannot put a book in the ballot. You have to use 70, how many words? 75 words. So no more than 75 words you have to express to the public what is it that you want to put, so they have actualized and they understand what you're talking about. Now, I have to say that whatever you decide, it goes out as a recommendation to the commission. However, the recommendation to the commission cannot be changed by the commission. In other words, what you have decided that you want to change in the charter goes to the commission, and the commission has to approve by resolution whatever is it that you want to change within the charter. So with that said, I'd like to advise you that the clerk has filed and has made a very, very detailed explanation as to the charter methodology, etc. And this is the agenda of the first meeting, and it starts that this is a public hearing. Now, one of the most important things is that your activity is governed by the Sunshine Act. In other words, you have to say everything that you want to say in public and amongst yourself during a normally advertised meeting, and you cannot discuss it among yourself, because that would be a violation of sunshine. As the clerk pointed out, there's 8 articles in the charter: creation and power, corporate limits, legislative, administration, finance and taxation, qualification of election, general provision, and transition schedule. So with that said, I turn it over to the mayor, so we can start reading from the first page as to what is it that comes out to your mind that we should change.
Okay, sorry, where do you want me to start reading from?
of the charter, first article of the
Oh,
charter.
action on serving in the charter. Before I do that, I'd like to yield to the clerk, because she has some very important information, for us that she called the Department of Elections, correct? About
In terms of deadlines,
deadlines. She has, some information by which we have to be finished with this process by a certain date, so that we can have, if we have any changes, we get them on the ballot. So I'll yield to her to provide that information to us.
Just to inform you that I was in contact with the elections department because charter amendments require a special election. For that, there are certain deadlines. First, we have to determine, or you have to determine whether amendments to the charter are necessary or not. Based upon that, I have to request a special elections to the elections department, to the supervisor of elections, and with the supervisor of elections consent, then the city of West Miami adopts a resolution and we send it to the elections department, and based on that, then a ballot is created. It's a whole process that requires time, and upon my conversation with the elections department today, the rule of thumb, the recommendation was like to have the questions ready by the end of this calendar year, by December 31st or sooner. That's what we recommend in order to have ample time to process the whole elections, because the city of West Miami have elections in 2022, April 12, 2022, we have our regular elections, biannual elections. So chances are that if you decide to have questions, those questions will go to that election. But we need time because there is a ballot to be created, a whole procedure. So our recommendation is to have the questions ready by the end of the calendar year. That's our report.
I have a question. So the reason it's called a special election is because if we contemplate changing any article, but and to be incorporated in the regular election, but it's not a separate election.
No, it's not a separate election.
All right.
No.
Because that would cost money.
No, we want that.
All right.
We don't want that. Any other questions?
Given that the deadline, how frequently do we need to meet? Is the wording to meet?
That's decided upon yourself. You decide when you want to meet as a whole. So let us know.
Yeah, I was gonna actually,
Yes.
mention that, a couple of, not housekeeping, but, so you know that, all of our proceedings, all our meetings are on the air, we're being, recorded, and they will become part of the public records of the city of West Miami. And, we'll conduct all our meetings following Robert's Rules of Order. And to answer your question, Ally, at each meeting, we will decide when the next meeting will be and set the agenda for that meeting going forward. So it'll depend on how quickly we work and how much we have to get done. So it'll be a collective decision as to how many and when the next ones will be.
Madam Mayor?
Yes, go ahead.
Can I suggest
Absolutely.
something in the absence of time because of the short deadlines?
Mhm.
Maybe you could put an agenda item or consider an agenda item at the next regular commission meeting to set the dates so that we can notify the members of the board with ample time so that they can clear their calendar, so that they can make themselves available.
Well, can't we do that tonight as far as get,
We can, but at some point, the sooner we set the dates, the better I think it would be for the purpose of coordinating and everything.
so I'd like to do it tonight with everyone present, so everyone can check their calendars and that way we all know, when we gotta be back and how long it'll take. So, Mr. Attorney, you said you actually wanted me to start reading the actual,
No, I don't want you to read it.
Oh.
I mean, I just want you to go out to the heading. For instance, creation and power. There's nothing to, I think, that should be done in the creation of power. I mean, it's obvious that the city of West Miami was incorporated as a municipal entity. So
Right, so-
there's nothing to discuss out there.
so basically we're starting with part one charter.
Yes.
And as the city attorney said, if you'd all like to just read over creation and power. And, as he said, there's there's nothing we can change here, because this kind of already happened, but let's, yes.
Yeah, just to clarify, the spirit of what we're doing here basically is because times and epochs change, we don't want to leave things on the book that are antiquated, we want to keep up with the times. Not necessarily everything has to change, that's a good example.
Correct.
The creation of power, it is what it is. But just to kind of keep up with the times is what we're doing.
Or at the end of these meetings, we all may decide we don't want to change anything.
Right.
And that's okay too. If there's something we wish to change, that's what has to go on the ballot. If we have no changes, there's no ballot. So it's not that we have to, it's whatever, however we see fit to improve this document or not. Yes, Commissioner?
Mr. Attorney, I want some clarification on 8.05, deletion of obsolete
I can't hear you,
schedule
sir.
items.
We're gonna jump to section 8 already?
I want clarification
Oh,
on it,
okay.
because, you know, as Mr. Chavez alluded to, you know, times change and things become obsolete, and, you know, things need to change, and I think that this can be used to do just that.
Okay.
Of course,
So,
with
Mr.
your
Attorney,
clarification, Mr. Attorney.
8.05.
Page 19.
Page 19, 8.05. The commission would like clarification on 8.05, deletion of obsolete schedule items.
Here.
You're just pointing out that there is already a process to do that. You're just pointing out that there's already a process by which to do
Well,
that.
I forgot.
Well, that's why we never went to the ballot. We had to, and just, Madam Mayor, if you allow me, just for information, Madam Mayor, you have requested to put the questions so you can see what happened at the last Charter Review Board in November 6th of 2018. We had election, and 2 questions were taken into consideration. We're at the point of the ballot, and from that, for those 2 questions, question number 1 did not pass, question number 2 passed, according to the results that we are providing to you, provided by the elections department.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. She's referring to the back,
Yes,
towards the end, after page 21. I did ask for this because I thought it would help clarify things.
I want to explain something.
Are we gonna get
But
clarification
hold on,
on 8 point?
let me finish what I was saying.
Oh, you didn't finish yet?
Yes,
Okay, go ahead.
I just started.
Go
So,
ahead, go ahead.
in the back of your package, there's the results of our last charter review meeting and the questions that board or I should say the amendments that board wanted presented on the ballot. As the clerk said, some of them passed, some of them didn't. So, if we get to the point where this board wants some amendments on the ballot, that's exactly what it's going to look like, okay? The attorney will do the wording, has to be 75 words or less, and this will be the result of if this board decides they want to amend something in this document. It'll be like this on the ballot. Okay, so,
May I?
yes, sir, you
Now,
may.
gentlemen, excuse me. Now, let me explain you for ladies. This is a charter review. Very simple words. Charter review. You review the charter. You read the charter. If you think something is wrong, you propose the change of that particular item. If you think the charter is okay, you keep going the next. See, we don't have, because we sit down in the charter review, we don't have to destroy the charter. No, we just review and then you propose a change in things you think are wrong, things are obsolete or saying things are wrong. So don't worry if you think everything is okay. I don't have nothing to do. I don't have proposals because that happens in the charter review boards. That's why every 4 years we have to do it. But that doesn't mean that we have to cut in pieces the charter. We read the charter. If we think it's okay, I don't have problem. If you think something is wrong, you make the proposal. That's it. It's simple, very simple. Okay, this is not, you don't have to go to Harvard to understand it. Very simple.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Mr. Blanes, did you still,
Yes.
Okay.
From
So
the attorney.
the Commissioner,
Yes.
Commissioner Blanes asked for clarification, Mr. Attorney, on, page 19, item 805, deletion of obsolete schedule items.
If I may, Madam Mayor.
Yes.
What Commissioner Blunt's referring to, we took up, after last charter review.
That's what the attorney and the
Yeah,
clerk are
it was
talking about right
resolution
now.
2018-20, and we deleted sections, well, they're probably not here anymore, because we deleted them, sections 8.01, 8.02, 8.03, 8.04, 8.05, 8.06, and 8.07, which were transition schedule items that were obsolete.
That's exactly what they're determining right now. Thank you, Vice Mayor.
Okay.
I still would like clarification
Yes,
from
yes,
the attorney.
I will go on.
Okay.
They're
As soon as
gonna-
everybody starts,
I think this will be good for everyone to
Yes.
understand this.
Go ahead, Mr. Attorney.
okay. We discussed amply this issue at the last charter review in 2018. If you go to 8.05, and the footnote of that, it says ordinance 2018-20. At that time, there was a resolution for the mayor and city commission of the city of West Miami, as authorized by Article 8, Section 8.06 of the city charter, delete as obsolete schedule item Section 8.08, Section 8.07, and Section 8.08 of the present charter, correction, scrivener's error, providing for the city attorney to renumber, re-letter, and relocate article in this section of the charter in conformity with the spirit of this charter. In other words, this was done already. In other words, in 2018, when we reviewed the charter, there was a resolution that was adopted on April 18, 2018. I don't have a copy of that because I was not anticipating this question.
Well, you know, I think you're trying to reinvent the wheel. I think what I wanted to hear was that the commission has the power to delete things that are in the charter.
Not in the charter, in this section.
Okay, so clarify that.
Council shall have the power by resolution to delete from this Article 8. This Article 8.
Okay, that's what I wanted you to clarify.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I did not understand. I
Well,
apologize.
I mean, everybody's going on.
No, I apologize. I apologize. I did not understand what you were
Thank
talking
you.
about. Okay? So that was already done.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Attorney. Thank you, Commissioner. Right, so, are we all in agreement that, or let me ask, creation and powers, will we be making any changes or recommendations to 1.01 and 1.02? I'll give you a few minutes to look over that.
You don't want to discuss section 2.01?
Well, we're not there yet, Mr. Attorney. We're still up. I'd like to not confuse it and let's go in order. I think that's the best way to be as productive as possible.
That was tongue in cheek. That was
If we
a
start
joke.
jumping around,
That was a joke, Madam
I was
Mayor.
gonna say, if we start jumping around, we're gonna
When
get
you go to page
sidetracked.
3, you'll see why I
Okay,
made
all
that joke.
right. So, any questions, comments, concerns, or requested changes to Article 1, creation and powers?
Not for me.
We have a commission legislative system of government. In other words, the commission handles the legislative issues and the administration handles the administration of the city.
Okay? All in favor of 2? Aye. Any opposed? We move on to Article 2, corporate limits. Mr. Attorney, do you have anything to add?
I just wanted, that was the joke that I was
On
telling you
corporate
about. I mean,
limits.
I don't even understand what is there.
You have to walk it out.
That would be for a surveyor to tell you.
The corporate limits?
Number 3, description of the corporate limits.
2.01.
No.
3 point,
Okay. Let's see where we're at now.
3 out of
All right.
21.
Yeah, we're not reading that. All right.
Good question, we haven't annexed any properties or any other.
No, we attempted annexing at some point, but it was unsuccessful. And that might be done in the future, but that would be not for your consideration at this point.
I gave up, so. Maybe you can take it on.
Did you read that?
But I just didn't want to read the north,
No, I don't want to. I
I
decline.
just didn't want to read the northwest corner of the southeast corner of the southwest corner.
All right, so we will move on to Article 3, legislative. I'll give you all a moment or two to read 3.01, and then we will discuss it.
I have a question.
Yes, sir. Is it on 3.01?
I understood tonight the members take the charter to their home and they read it, they study, and then in the next meeting they bring their suggestion or their question. I don't think tonight they are ready to answer all these things.
Well, I
Mr.
mean,
Chavez?
these were sent out before we came here, so we had copies of them. That being said, it's not something you could really study for. So we're getting more out of it sitting here actually discussing it than
Okay, if
than trying to determine.
if you're ready to
Yeah,
study, it's okay.
We have,
All right.
Yes, everyone's here, so we
All right.
want to be as productive as we can with our residents'
Perfect.
time. So 3.01, are there any questions, comments, or considerations on 3.01? City Commission powers and compositions. All in favor of moving on to 3.02? Aye. Any opposed? We move on. 3.02, qualifications. We're still under Article 3, legislative.
Madam Mayor, point of clarification.
Please.
Okay, in reference to what Commissioner Luciano mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and perhaps this is a question to the city attorney. I think the question was asked because if we move forward, the fact that we vote doesn't mean that we can go back to an article down the line, let's say in the next meeting or so.
You are correct.
And perhaps say, by the way, I took it home, I read it, and I want to make the suggestion, bring it to the table.
Thank
Can we
you.
do that?
Absolutely.
Okay, all right.
Absolutely. Thank you for that
Let's
point of
move on.
clarification. Absolutely, absolutely. Like I said, this is a working group, and we will work together until the end. So yes. Okay, 3.02, qualifications. Any questions on qualifications? Any concerns or comments? Okay. In consideration, I'll stop calling for the aye vote. You're right, that may have been a bit misleading.
No,
So,
it's
no,
fine.
but yeah.
No,
So-
you gotta get consensus.
Right, so, again, when I call for that vote, it's just to move on, to be
Right.
sure everyone has no questions and we can move on, but as the mayor stated, these different sections are not closed forever. We can go back and ask any questions, and if someone wants to bring them up for discussion again, by all means. Okay, that's what we're here for. So, all in favor of moving on to 3.03? Aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? No one's opposed. We're moving on to 3.03, still under Article 3 legislative, elections, separate groups, office and terms. And Mr. Attorney, anytime you want to jump in, if you have any comments on the section or add to the section, please just jump in.
But number one, has everybody read this section?
Well,
I would assume so.
everyone received an email, but I'm just giving a few moments to glance over it again.
Okay.
To refresh in their memory, if there's, any questions. And again, we can always go back to any section.
What does it mean to be decided by law?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
The end of the very last thing is like if they're retired, the office of the mayor shall be determined by law.
Determined by law. Mr. Attorney or Madam Clerk, you may take that question.
Well, the issue,
Mr. Attorney.
the issue is that it has happened numerous times in the city of West Miami. It has happened that two commissioners have exactly the same number of votes. So whoever gets the most votes gets to serve for 4 years. Whoever gets less than the most votes gets to serve for 2 years. So it has been sometimes, so the terms are staggered, you see. Now, there have been sometimes that members or candidates have received the same number of votes. So it has been determined by lot, which means a point, flipping of a coin. Whoever wins earns the 4 years, or whoever wins gets to be the vice mayor if the luck favors them. Yes?
Is that wording and language that can be changed?
I'm sorry?
Is that language that can be changed? Because lot seems to be, it could mean many things.
It has
Drawing
been many
straws.
things. It has been many things, yeah.
Can it be changed to flipping of the coin? It would make us famous.
Would give us flexibility?
So, I'll give you an example, you know, having, my dad having a few times, we flipped the coin, that coin right there, many times in the last 20, 30 years. But for example, last cycle there was an auditing, and because there was, it needed to be determined by law by more than 2 candidates, we either had to go to a war of coin flip, or, I think, what was the determination last time? It was picking mugs. I mean, it was very strange. You had 3 mugs.
So, just real
So
quick.
the luck of the draw,
So,
basically what it is.
If you can come up with a way to standardize it.
well, I'm saying if there's 2 people with the same amount of votes, then there's only 2 possibilities. So something that gives you a 50-50 chance, a coin flip, a cat flip.
He added even more complicated.
Yeah.
What was it that happened that time?
Where it gets complicated is when a very novel situation, when you have a situation where there's, for example, 3 candidates that either have to be determined by law, and at that point, the coin flip becomes, I mean, it's not more complicated. You can do it, right? In that situation, you flip, and it's like a.
You're better off going to a straw draw.
Yeah, it was like a straw draw. This was essentially a straw draw using mugs.
Okay.
It's a situation where it gets more complicated. It happens more than.
You gotta allow the flexibility in the language to go to different types
Right,
of.
but you know that doesn't necessarily mean that's what we've done it. It doesn't necessarily mean we're doing it the best way.
I think that could be a takeaway.
That's what happened last time between you and me.
Exactly.
I think that's something we could think about, no? For the next meeting.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Madam Clerk?
No, in some other instances, for example, when there is an election, but there are no opponents, because we have the same number of seats and the same number of candidates, then we determine by lot by the flip of a coin, because we have 2. The mayor, when he's unopposed, is 1 seat, so the mayor runs unopposed, he gets elected automatically. But in this specific occasion, where we had 3 members, because due to the resignation of Mayor Mujina, Vice Mayor Diaz-Padrón was appointed, then he had to run 2. So we have 3. The 2 that usually run, and then the Vice Mayor Diaz-Padrón in that case had to run 2. So we have 3 seats.
But it's not.
Yeah, but that point,
And one at a time for recording purposes.
That point was only the area myself.
At some point, because we have to determine first who, I mean, the last, we have to determine, we use like mob to link to, to determine who was holding the vice mayor's office and the commissioner's office of process.
Yeah, my concern was that the term was too broad, but I understand now why you can't really be too specific, because there are situations where it's, two is a typical thing, but there's other situations where, something to consider for the next meeting, just toss around words that.
So Mayor Molina, this is all your fault.
Yeah, for the record, it was not my fault.
Yeah, I'll tell you, since happened to my dad before, back in, what was that, 90s, when he tied, he actually went to election and tied, same number of votes, and they had to point to him, I think it was the Burita.
She was tied with Burita Martin, and they flipped a coin.
Yep, so it's happened many times.
That was in 90 or
Yeah, it was
88.
90, yeah. But it's something to think about for sure, you know, if there's a way to really lock down the language, because when it is more than two candidates, that process does become very annoying, because there's the straws, some people won't feel comfortable with the straws, then it's the mug, and when it's more than two, that process breaks down a little bit.
Who does it? How's it fair? How do you know?
Exactly.
How do you
Exactly. With everyone is very simple. When there's two, it's very simple. When it becomes more than two, that's when, you know, that language starts to be complicated. So it's something to think about for, you know, if you guys can think of a better way to do it.
So we will definitely, yes, ma'am, go ahead.
Perhaps adding a section to address the
Yeah, so we will
scenario.
definitely keep 3.03. We will discuss this again next meeting, hopefully, and if we all come with some suggestions.
I wanted to add also
Yes.
that, because I know we're limited to 75 characters
Yes.
and words. The language can be misleading to the voters.
Very much so.
Thinking that we're trying to pull a fast one by changing something like the lot, changing it to flip a coin or whatnot. So maybe we can get suggestions as to how to word that correctly, so
If
that.
you remember, we
it's
struggled with getting
misleading.
the words of the
Yeah.
last
Bring
one
your
in
proposal.
2018, so that it would be very easily, so the voters could understand
Yeah.
what we were really trying to accomplish,
Yeah, that-
and not
that's
think we
kinda-
were trying to be misleading.
I
So
tried to
that's the
change it,
difficult
but
part.
clarify,
That's the difficult part.
process.
Next time you bring your proposal in black and white. You bring your proposal in black and white. That's it.
And also, you'll see as we get there, the vice mayor is also determined by lot as well.
No, you see, the lot,
Flip of a coin. So
yeah.
a lot is determined by
everything's
law,
determined.
so I can see where it would be a very good thing for, you know, put your thinking caps on and come back next meeting, hopefully. And we can work on this by lot.
Yeah,
Uh,
my lot, it could be
wording.
whoever has the biggest property, has a bigger lot than you do.
You win.
Yeah.
Okay, so good, everyone kind of mark that and, read it over, mull it over.
Make a suggestion? Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, yeah.
Also, and I know we voted yes to move forward, but I think we should revisit 3.2A. Just think about it. The city of West Miami is a city that is very quaint. It takes a while to understand it, and I know this is a subject that we had talked in the past, but maybe a person living here for only 2 years, you know, think about it.
Don't take no much.
Okay.
On your point, Mr. Mayor, your point, I remember at some point it was 3,
Yes.
Yes, we
and it
did.
got lowered,
We did.
Yes.
right?
I think it was the last,
No, it was way before that. It was before.
it was whichever one I was on, so it had to be the one before. Yes, it was lowered. And so there's no reason why it cannot be increased again.
Correct.
I
Okay.
think you too.
Well, I mean, do we want to take it up now, or do we want to think about it and take it up?
Think about it, and then we'll bring it next meeting.
If I could, to expedite your point.
Yes.
Mr. Attorney, could you research before the next charter review meeting to make sure that it's constitutionally,
The what, sir?
sorry, the mask. Can you research before the next charter review meeting on Mayor Muñoz's point, the constitutionality of of a 3-year eligibility period?
Of the what, sir?
A 3-year
The
eligibility
3-year
period
versus the 2
for-
years.
before you can qualify for office?
The qualification?
Right, the
qualify
qualification
for-
is 2 years currently.
Yes, that was discussed at some point
It
in
was
the back.
It was lowered to 2, from 3 to 2.
Right.
But could you research the Florida constitutionality of
Sure.
that prior to expedite what, what
There's
the-
numerous
to
case
make
law
sure we're
about that,
clear.
yes.
Yeah, make sure we're clear on that.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, by the way, I would suggest that you go ahead to your dictionary and go to the synonyms of bailar, which is very.
Way ahead of you. Sortition.
So, should we continue discussing bailar, or?
No.
What, we're good?
No.
Okay. Okay, so clarification, we will go back and discuss 3.02 as far as the qualifying years of residency, and 3.03. 3.01, are we good? We're not thinking of going back to discussing anything in there, right?
Right.
Okay, all right, so let's move on and review, discuss, look at, read 3.04. And also, I meant to mention this at the start of the meeting. In consideration of time, we had a commission meeting at 7:30 this evening. So we have a hard stop time as far as this meeting is concerned. If we ever have a meeting, one of our meetings, not preceding a commission meeting, we can go on all night for doesn't matter to me. But the meetings we have preceding a commission meeting, we will have a hard stop time. 7:15 is okay with commissioners, vice mayor?
Yes.
A hard stop time for this meeting by 7:15 to get ready for our commission meeting? Okay, so a hard stop time this evening will be 7:15 as far as this meeting is concerned. Okay? So if we want to stop here and maybe discuss anything, any questions about procedures, and then leave 3.04 to pick up at the next meeting, considering we only have about 15 minutes. Any comments, concerns, questions about procedures, how it's going to go forward? Mr. Mayor?
Can I make a suggestion? Can we make the meetings the same day of the commission meeting? That way there's a consistency. I'm talking about the charter review. I mean, either once a month or two. It looks like if we got to do this by December, we need to meet at least a couple of times.
Let's do that now. Let's decide now.
So that way it coincides with the same day.
Correct. Let's discuss that now and see what we come up with as far as we can have it. Before every commission meeting. That means we can have two charter review meetings a month. And that way, if we get done way before December, great. If not, we have to be done by before Christmas. So if this works for everyone, and you like coming here on the first and third Wednesday of the month at 6 p.m.
I think that's good.
Any comments on that?
It's the first and third
First and third Wednesday are our commission meetings at 7:30.
Next commission meeting
So
is
if
when?
we're here at 6, like this evening, that gives us
Right.
an hour and 15 minutes. I'm not sure if that's long enough. Meeting twice a month, that's probably long enough, but again, it's what everyone thinks is best for this board, so I'd love to hear from everyone.
So the next one will be September 15th?
If that meets with everyone's
First and third?
approval, first and third Wednesday of the month.
Yeah, I mean, the way I see it right now is we're almost at the end of 3, so there's 8 articles. We're almost halfway through it, doing a soft review.
But we haven't really delved into
Right,
it.
so next time around, we can come back and hit the points that we kind of put bullets on, and that would be half of the job done. So, yeah, twice a
You'll
week,
see when
twice a month.
when we start delving in a little bit deeper to each one, discussion will take quite a bit of time.
Just one word kind of.
Exactly. Yes, Ivan.
So the commission meetings are the first and third,
First and third Wednesday.
but today is the second Wednesday.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
Because this is thank you, sir. Because this is a special budget meeting.
So then a week from today.
But
will
our
be the-
normal meetings are, our regular meetings are first and third Wednesday of the month at 7:30.
Okay. So
Today being the exception. We do have another meeting next week.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys want to, if you are, sorry, you guys, if everyone would like to come again next week so that we can get on schedule,
Yeah.
first and third.
So we're talking about the 15th, and then, even though it's still September, the 29th.
First and third Wednesday.
No,
First and
the
third.
So that's actually 3 weeks away.
The 6th and the 20th.
Yeah, because the 6th is actually 3 weeks away, so.
Today's an exception.
Okay.
So our next meeting will be next Wednesday, 6 p.m.
Madam Mayor, from today until December 15th, you have 7 meetings.
So it's not a lot.
It's not a lot.
It's not a lot.
No.
That's
Trust
my
me.
point is.
I've been around this.
Yeah.
It's not a lot.
I just
You don't want to be crutchy in December, you know.
And that's the
if we
point I
can
was trying to
finish-
make.
Yes.
If we stick to the first and third, the next first is actually 3 weeks away.
Mhm.
So it's probably best every 2 weeks, just do it every 2 weeks. We can pick the dates right now, the 15th, the 29th, and so on.
And I'm fine with that as well.
I mean,
I am.
Just a suggestion.
If
Because that
it-
way we're doing it every 2 weeks, they might not coincide with the
That's
commission meeting.
not a problem. That's not a problem. I mean,
I just
the
think we get an
the
extra meeting in there.
the sooner we gather back together, the fresher the previous meeting will be in our mind. So if we want to do this every 2 weeks, that works for me.
And we need to remember, Madam Mayor, that normally the commission breaks for one commission meeting during the month of December, and with holidays, one.
So let's take out commission meetings out of this. Let's just say we're gonna meet, I'm getting my calendar, every 2 weeks
Every two, from today.
from today. Every 2 weeks from today?
15,
This is
29, 13,
29.
27.
Okay.
Every
Well,
Wednesday.
we're gonna go with the 15th anyway.
Okay, yes,
15 for
15,
sure.
29.
Does 6 p.m. work for everyone? Yes?
Then the second week of October, right? Second week, the 13th, then we're gonna have the meeting every week.
It would be the 13th and the 27th.
So I'm sorry,
12 on the, not, today, it's not Thursday.
So the 8th, today's the 8th, so 22nd? Am I on track here? Every
Yeah.
2 weeks?
Oh,
We were gonna have a,
We
we're
start-
doing it
start
the
next
15th
week.
then? The
Okay, so
15th is
It's up to you,
Saturday.
it's up to,
It's gonna be two,
it's
every
up to
2 weeks
everyone.
starting from today
We
then.
can
Or we
start-
can have it again
start
next week and
and
start
then
from
2
next,
weeks after
from
that.
next week.
Yeah, it's up to you guys, I'm retired.
Me too, I mean, I wanna hear from everyone.
Good for next week.
Do we wanna,
I think
we
we
wanna come
should-
back on the 15th, and then every 2 weeks from there?
I think so,
Yes?
so we can get moving fast.
Yes?
Otherwise it's gonna.
Anyone opposed to that?
All right, so the
Okay,
next one's the 15th.
so Madam Clerk,
15th and then
15th,
15,
And then 29th and
29.
29, and then the
13th.
13th.
the 13th, 10, 13.
No, 13 we meet with.
Then
27?
27, but what I was trying, the point I was trying to make is that then we have October 6th and October 20th commission meetings, meaning that if we have one on the 13th and one on the 27th, we'll have, the commission will have a meeting like every
Every day.
week.
Every
We
week.
have to do, we have to do.
Every 2 weeks, like we said,
We can't,
keep going.
we can't base this
Keep going.
on the commission. I mean, the residents
Keep
are giving
going.
their time,
I'll
so
be here whenever the charter review board wants to.
I'll be here
but-
too. I'll
Keep
be
going,
here.
yeah, every 2 weeks, every 2
Okay,
weeks.
13,
I don't want to
27.
be
That's it.
stuck, Madam Clerk, at the end, and we don't have enough time. I'd rather finish early than
Yeah.
not have enough time.
We have usually two commission meetings scheduled a month, right?
Correct.
So maybe instead of doing this hard stop 2 weeks, every 2 weeks, we schedule them, every 2 weeks unless there's two commission meetings that month, and then you just schedule on commission meeting days and do it from now. Just put it all the calendars. That way there's not a I don't mind, I'll be here, I live 2 blocks from here. But I know administration, if they don't have to be here two nights a week, if we're gonna be here anyways, we might as well do it that way, right? So you're saying every 2 weeks, right?
I'm just suggesting, I've got an uncomplicated schedule.
Right, no, but I get where you're going at. We want to make sure that
To
we're
maximize the amount of
we're
time to get it done,
getting-
right?
We're basically getting into 2 meetings a month, right?
Sure.
Every 2 weeks, we're getting 2 meetings a month then, right?
Yeah, but if you, well, I don't know.
So,
Charter review, yes, no.
You gotta
I think all of
also.
this is for one extra.
right, we're doing it for 1 extra meeting. That's all that's happening. So why don't you just during the commission meeting days, and then schedule 1 extra meeting,
That's fine.
however it comes out. But
That's easier.
If we're two times a month, and we have commission meetings 2 times a month anyways, like you're saying, there's a month in December, we take a meeting off, right?
Yes.
Okay, and on a different Wednesday, just schedule a meeting for charter review,
Yeah,
separately.
that sounds like a better idea, because this is what happens. Like, for instance, there's other meetings that we don't come to, but the city attorney and administration,
Right.
they have code enforcement, they
Right.
have planning and zoning, they have,
don't go to- we
you
don't wanna
know,
burn these guys out.
so, but, yeah, we're not gonna be here, but they're here. So they're gonna be here
So
every single
let's
night.
keep it to the commission meetings,
The
and
commission-
towards the end, if we need extra days,
Yeah.
I think we'd be all open to saying, hey, come in an extra day.
Yes, I agree. I agree
Okay,
with that.
so, the fifth, next week, yes, yes.
May I offer a friendly suggestion
Yes.
here?
Mhm.
Is it possible that the members of the board can be here a little bit earlier so you can get more done? Instead of 6, you can start at 5:30, now you have an hour and a half, almost
See,
an hour
because
and a
it's
half.
that hard stop that, you can see how fast it went by. So it's that hard stop on the commission meeting dates that is gonna put a bit of a constraint on us. I mean, it's.
Personally,
it
works
flew
for
by.
me, but, I gotta hear from the other people.
Right.
I mean, I live here, I work here.
But this-
I mean,
Will 5:30 be a hardship on?
5:30 is fine, but when are we stopping? Like how long? All the way to 7:30?
No, I'd say 7:15, so we can have a 15-minute break. If it's on a meeting, on a commission meeting now,
Just assign the timekeeper amongst us that keeps us all on track.
give
on
us,
things.
you know,
okay.
a few minutes to regroup and give
5:30
everybody.
to 7:15 then.
5:30 to 7:15?
Yeah.
If we could, like, read it on our own and then come back with things that we could, like.
Okay, so, just to
Open up
confirm,
the-
just to
We're gonna
confirm,
sit here and read every one.
we're coming back next week on the 15th,
Yes,
okay? And then it's gonna be every 2 weeks after that?
no.
No.
Commission meeting, commission meeting.
Commission meeting.
So we're,
First and third.
so we're going back 3 weeks in between? Okay,
No,
so,
it's September 20th.
Okay, the friendly amendment is the 5:30, and also what Ivan mentioned is we need to, if we getting into a crunch, we can start adding a third week, you know, that's what.
For now.
all right, so,
But for now, let's start with that.
so that means the 15th, and then the next
5:30.
meeting is October 6th.
October 6th, October 20th.
15 to 5:30.
5:30 going forward.
Here's the sign, you know, next meeting, we get stuck on 3.5, and we don't move forward, then, you know, we're in trouble.
We'll do an extra day.
Okay? So, September 15th, which is next Wednesday, we're here at 5:30. Then we meet again, October 6th, 5:30. Then we meet again, October 20th, 5:30. If we, after next week, if we decide we gotta change that, we'll take it up at that point. Okay? That's putting us through the end of October.
5:30.
Yeah, 5:30.
5:30
Everybody
next
agree,
Wednesday.
Yeah, yeah.
5:30
I'll
next
talk to my boss to see if he lets me early.
To expedite things, next meeting, I will want to talk about 3.07, so in particular, if you can look at that one before next meeting.
Okay.
Hopefully we'll get to 3.07.
Yeah, if we get there.
Hopefully we'll get to 3.07.
Well, that's a good one.
Yeah, you're gonna see when we start getting into this, it takes a while.
I was just gonna say, can we go through all the dates, through December, so we can
Yes.
finish out the calendar?
Absolutely. Okay,
Please.
so,
Thank you.
all right, so, the 15th, October 6th, October 20th,
November 3rd.
November 3rd, November 17th, December 1, and December 15th has to be our last one. We have to be finished by then.
Well, you have to give us a little leeway, Madam Mayor, because you see, not only we have to compose the questions, we have to bring it to you for approval.
So you wanna say December 1?
Well, the same, yeah.
All right.
The
Ladies
pro-
and
the
gentlemen,
pro-
December
the
1
The problem is this.
has to be our last meeting.
After you finish telling me what is it that you want, I have to compose it within 75 words, okay? Now, after that, I have to meet with the clerk to see whether or not the election commission approves it or not. Go ahead.
I think December 15th is okay, we can, meet, because as I said, when I talked to the elections department, they said move January, so, we have a month to process,
Well, I'm saying that what I need is time to compose whatever you want, because one word can change the meaning of the entire paragraph, okay? One word. So I have to bring it to you, so you tell me, this is what we want. And we need time to do that, okay?
Okay, for
Because-
now, put December 15th as the last meeting, but that may change.
At 5:30.
Okay? 5:30.
And the last thing that I wanted to say, excuse,
Yes.
All right, December 1st it is then. December 1st,
Can I make a suggestion?
Yes.
Can we just go home and read through it?
Absolutely.
And, you know, just
Make your
read it,
notes.
whatever we understand. Like they said, the charter may not need to be reconstructed.
Correct.
So if it isn't something that really, you're saying, this is something that concerns me, let's not make a big deal about it.
Correct.
Let's concentrate on those that you do have an issue with and bring them up and not just nitpick at everything that we're not gonna be doing anything about it.
absolutely correct. So if everyone could look over the charter
At this
and
point,
make
you
your
bring your
notes,
proposal exactly what you want.
and that way we're all prepared for the next meeting.
Good idea.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, sir.
one of the things that I'm going to ask everybody, if you have any questions, legal or otherwise, please give me an advance of what is it that you want me to research. So lawyers like to research things. I don't like to say out of my mind, out of my memory, anything that has to deal with law. So if you do have any questions, please advise me at least with 48 hours so I have time in which to, and I would say that you should have it to the clerk and the clerk would send it to me, okay?
So, Mr. Attorney, what you're saying is if we have a question that we, if any of us have a question that we think is gonna require your research to answer the question, we should email the clerk the question, so she can provide it to the attorney. So at that meeting, he will have his legal interpretation or answer to our question after he's had time to do research. So if you have any questions that you think are going to require his research, email them to the clerk before the meeting. That way the attorney has time to get an answer for us.
And again, I'd like to emphasize that you cannot meet amongst yourself or talk among yourself, but you can talk to me, okay?
Okay, so, is there anything for the good of the order? All right, then,
See you next week.
this meeting is adjourned at 7:12.
I see
Thank
next
you
week.
all very much. We'll see you next week.
Please keep your charter, keep your notes.